second page.
Wow, that works.
Han Louis with just under 1.4 million, and Elizabeth Ramirez 1.36 million. So congratulations to our top 5 in volume for the month.
Congratulations to our top individuals in units.
See, this has no Subra.
Surya's not on here. Elizabeth Ramirez with 5, tied with 4 Rex Thomas, Jeanette Secchi, and Tonga Turner, and 3 Joy Haskins. Congratulations, you guys.
Great job to all top 5 in transactions for the month. Now our top teams. We made a big announcement last month about a new team joining us. I guess we could see the power of having 45 people in one team. Because the numbers will jump off the page here in a second, so I'm kind of giving the precursor.
Largely jump off the page.
We have a slight difference between first and second place in our teams for January, but it gives all you Maryland, D.C. teams something to shoot for, and then we put them with everybody. Jason's going to have some new competition.
I
and
love
Casey
that.
and
They're coming
everybody.
for you. Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. So our top team in volume for the month of January. The One Street Company had over 26 million in volume last month, so great job to the One Street Company. The Easy Way, just under 1.8. The Westerland Group, 1.4. Team Flow D, just over 1.1.
He cannot say that without the sass, ever. Team Flow D. I know, and she's sassy too, so it works great. Yeah.
I'm sassy too. The Reliable Home Team.
Sassy is not a word I would use for you.
No?
No.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what words you will use, so we're going to move on.
No, you do not,
Just
friend.
under 1.1 million, the Reliable Home Team, 5th place. Great job.
And in units, 27.5, the One Street Company. Tied with 4, the Easy Way and Tony Fulco Home Group.
Woohoo!
Whoop, 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 whoop. And with 3, Team Floaty, the Reliable Home Team, and the Hutton Home Group. Congratulations,
Great
you
job.
guys. Congratulations.
You got to take a bow or something, right?
Yeah.
So, thank you to congratulations to our top salespeople for the month of January, singles and teams. So, a couple save the dates so you know where we're coming, and you can invite your friends today. It's not too late. I'm going up the street to Perry Hall, Liberatories at Perry Hall. I've heard this is nice. Anybody eat there? Very good. Oh, lots
I
of
like
good
the
names.
street
All
name.
right. You like the what?
The street name, Honeygo.
Honeygo does make it sound like it's a good place,
It makes
right?
it feel like it should just be like sweet. Sassy's getting sassy in the front row.
Yeah, we got sassy
So we
Barbara
got sassy in the front row. Yes, but it sounds like it should be good and sweet, right?
So
Honeygo.
Liberatories, Perry Hall, about kind of between our Bel Air and White Marsh offices here, about 15 minutes north. So if anybody in the area, we'd love to see you for lunch. Bring a friend, and I'll talk to you all about all things Sampson. Hopefully I'll be able to speak better by then.
Lots of Donnie for the people who are here in the room today that are going. You will get an all-day Donnie.
Nobody needs that.
I'm sorry.
Meredith questions it most days. That's my wife. So next week, we're going to be in our Arlington office for our company-wide sales meeting. So we'd love to see a lot of you in attendance.
So
10 o'clock in Arlington.
We did decide to move it to Arlington. Some of you may have heard on previous sales meetings that we were going to shoot for doing a sales meeting in our new HQ in Chantilly. However, some of our offices still don't have lights, and we still don't have a fire permit in some of the part of the building. So we have moved it.
The biggest thing is the studio doesn't have full permits yet.
The studio doesn't have full permits yet. So
we can't really have the sales meeting and stuff in there until we have the studio
again,
built
potato,
out, so.
potato. But we're going to have it, so we decided to punt and go to Arlington, and then we will do our open house shortly.
All right, so the Arlington sales meeting next week. A couple lunch and learns, just put on your guys' radar if you want to invite people to. We're at International Country Club in Chantilly, February 16th. Chevy Chase Maggiano's, so Chevy Chase, D.C. We're going to go to that Maggiano's February 22nd. Very good, and this was not planned at all. But then that same 6 days later, we're going to be at Maggiano's again, but this time in Tyson. So
Maggiano's likes us, and we really like Maggiano's.
It ends up being a great place to hold lunch and learn. So Maggiano's the 28th in Tyson's. And then, as Sarah mentioned, we're going to do our Chantilly sales meeting for the whole company March 1st with our grand opening to follow. So we're very excited about the day. I'm slightly worried we're going to get too many people and break the place on the first day, but it'll be fun.
Minor detail.
But it's a great studio. We can pack a lot of people in.
Yes.
So we're going to do our sales meeting there. It should be a lot of fun. And we'll do a grand opening to follow that, lunchtime. After that, so everybody can hang out and enjoy the place. So if you can come by at any point during the day for the sales meeting or the grand opening, we'd love to see your smiling faces and show you our new office.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can certainly stop by between them, but just know we are
still under construction.
We are every day looking a little bit better.
We have a restoration and permit in place.
restoration and permit. I don't think that's what it's supposed to be.
It's called renovation permit in place.
Renovation
permit.
We are allowed to
We are
work there, just not
renovating.
in certain sections, but we may.
We may be there anyway.
No, we're not there, I promise. But it's getting better every day, so some of our people
Yes.
are working there. Deb Gorham put a delightful message
Yes,
on our
she did.
Samson
Thank you, Deb.
Properties Facebook group, so thank you. She's enjoying the new space, apparently. Of course, everybody else was like, this is no fair. Deb's talking about how great it is, and we want pictures. And I'm like, Deb, don't put us pictures. It ain't that good yet.
We need a couple more weeks. We're getting there.
We're getting there, so we're excited about that.
And then we've got some more on there.
For next month, our Maryland, D.C. sales meeting will be in Bowie. We're going to go see Carl Harper and the crew. We'll be in our Bowie office next month on March 8th. So we'll be there. And then afterwards, we're going to go to, we haven't been here in a couple of years, but I love this place, the Blue Dolphin, right down the street. So
That's a good name, too, the Blue Dolphin. Is it good?
It is very good.
It's good?
So the
Yeah.
Blue Dolphin actually was funny that, if Mark Lubelai and a couple people were here. So we had a lunch and learn there on March 10th, 2020. And it was like, just like COVID kind of came on, it was like, maybe they're sending some kids home, and maybe they're, so I'll never forget, we had 66 people at the Blue Dolphin.
Packed in
on
there?
March 10th. And there was it was like people didn't know what to think, and I'll never forget at the end, you're talking to people, and you're always like, I shake a bunch of hands. So there were a couple people who were doing the foot thing. Remember, and that was the thing at the beginning. So I'll never get we had 65 people, and there was this, and then it was great. And nobody was really but the next day, it was we ain't
The
doing
world
nothing.
shut down.
People went home and whatever. It's March
Donnie's
11th.
Lunch and Learn broke the world.
Yeah. So, and then later we did find out for a couple people, we got hit up. It was oh, well, I kind of might have COVID. I shared the potluck with that person or whatever. But it was, we double dipped from the lasagna or whatever.
Gross.
I'm mostly joking.
Gross.
I don't eat at the lunch
Mostly.
learns. It was really Mark that was trying to figure out who he was near because he talks to everybody. But it was funny. So that was the last time we were at the Blue Dolphin.
But
so
it is funny, though. that
hopefully I
you
don't
mention
break the world this time we
that.
go.
Yeah, he's not allowed to
3
break the
years
world
later,
this time.
But
it is funny. That whole experience, changed the way we do everything. When was the last time you went to a buffet? Nobody, no.
I'll find me some buffets. That's why I got to be on juice cleanses now.
Anybody has a good buffet, invite Donnie.
Yeah, I'm in.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
in. But your point is well taken. And then our last sales meeting for March will be Stafford. So we'll be able to go out to the Stafford office, Augustine Golf Club afterwards. One last lunch and learn out at One Loudon, which is beautiful. We're going there for the first time to Eddie Merlot's, which is one of my favorite restaurants there out at One Loudon.
Did you remember to book your Valentine's
It was
reservation?
booked. I wanted to go there for Valentine's Day, so we're not. I should call and be I'm giving you a lot of money at a lunch.
I was surprised you didn't do that already.
I feel like I should make that call, actually.
I think you should.
I feel like they should find 2 for me. I'm coming and bringing 25 people or whatever. All right.
They can't squeeze you a table in the kitchen. It could be an experience.
I'm not doing. I'm not doing that. It's I'll eat at a regular.
Experience.
But I should make a call, right?
I would so make that call. And
Lisa, make that call for
And
me.
to be
Barbara,
honest,
Barbara will get me a table.
I am so surprised he has not already, but that's hilarious. You guys mark your calendar for your agent orientations. Remember, your agent orientations are with our wonderful agent service team to talk about all the different resources that we have at Samson. So whether you are a brand new agent, you've been away and not necessarily keeping up with the myriad of emails that we're sending on new resources and things, every once in a while drop into one of the orientations. You do not have to belong to that office to attend the orientation in that area.
You just have to be able to drive there.
You just have to be willing to stop in. So our agent service team will do a broad overview, not a deep dive necessarily on everything, but a broad overview of all of the tools, resources, people that you have available to you inside of Samson to be able to implement that into your business and make sure that you know where to go for your one-on-ones and extra training if you need extra help in any particular area. So you can see they're all over the place. We span the footprint. Usually we have 2 on February 9th, 1 in National Harbor and in one in Chantilly. The next week we have 2 Winchester, D.C., and then the next week we have 2 Columbia, McLean, and then in Richmond. So we spread them out all over the place so that we're hitting all of our different areas regularly.
There you go. Got to listen to a lot of Lisa and Catherine there, unfortunately.
Yes.
So Lisa didn't get the joke. She was sleeping.
Lisa's just staring
Lisa
at him
was sleeping
going.
with her eyes open. She didn't react to what I was saying.
She goes, I am tuning him out. Lisa, I do that all the time.
She does. She does.
He did ask me one time. He goes, he's like, you don't even listen to me. What happens when somebody's not important?
I do not say that. That makes me sound so bad. That I think I'm important and other people aren't. I've never said that out loud. That's terrible.
Out loud. Out loud.
But I have said, what do you do with other people? You don't even listen when I talk. I have said
Isn't that just what I just said?
But I didn't use the word other people that aren't
Look,
important.
I summarized. My story was much better. The details are not worried. Save the date, everybody. We are streaming our Samson's Awards ceremony on Friday, February 24th at 11 a.m. We're going to have watch parties throughout our entire footprint. So if you do not want to watch it from the comfortableness of your couch or kitchen table, you can come into one of our office parties.
There will be one here at White Marsh,
Yes, I believe there is one. So you can come in. We're going to have parties and food and lots of tomfoolery.
So a little context.
Check it out on the Nest.
A little context. We are going to give away 2 sets of awards this year. We are going to give out volume awards and transaction awards, the same things that we give out every week and every month. I have gone through the list. It's about the top 500 in volume and about the top 500 in transactions in our company. It comes out to 5 million or more in volume or 10 or more transactions last year.
And if you have a crazy name, I'm going to apologize up front because we are going to slaughter it.
Probably.
Probably.
I'm going to make sure it sets up so Sarah reads all the hard names. But
is Danny coming?
I don't know.
I'll just give him to him. I'll say age before beauty.
Miss Catherine, let's get her a mic back there to her. Here, hold on, Catherine. Hold on, not your first rodeo, Miss Carrie. Come on. You got one too?
Yeah, we've got them in the back and in the front.
Can I repeat what?
Can you repeat what?
10 transactions or more?
Yes.
Or 5 million or more? Those are basically going to be our cut lines for awards. Not saying we don't.
Same categories as last year.
Last year we had 5 million, but the transactions is new. So
that's
10 transactions basically got the top 500. And that will be what we're giving out awards to. And
we did that because we listened to you guys. We heard, because that was really, our first attempt last year at doing, a lot of awards for the company. And we heard you guys, well, I guess it was our second attempt, but we heard you guys that are in areas that maybe the sales price is a little lower. You're doing a lot of units, but you're not hitting huge amounts of volume. So we wanted to make sure that we recognize the efforts of all of the people in all of our footprint for the work that they're doing.
Yes. So 5 million could be 20 transactions in some areas, or
or it could be 2 in Northern Virginia.
So
right.
We're doing both. So a lot of you will get a transaction award and a volume award if you hit 5 million and 10 transactions. So we'll call out your name for.
And if you don't get either one, then you need to get in a class. Take a class.
So that's where we're doing with awards. So we're going to call out lots of names, have lots of fun. We'll have watch parties all over. If you are eligible for like a top 20 award, you'll probably, those emails have not gone out yet. So do I get an invite? Do I not get an invite? We are still, I was the bottleneck for a couple days. I will wear the hat. I am not the bottleneck anymore. We're close to being able to get those out. We're trying to finalize. We've got a certain amount of people in the room that we could do. So we probably will get those emails out by Friday is the goal. So if you're going to be in person.
Yes.
Yes. So Samson Awards, Friday, February 24th, 11 o'clock. Circle that in your calendar. Hopefully come to a watch party, experience it with friends. If not, you can watch it wherever you are. Can I access it to the Nest? Just another reminder in the print center, we could probably stop doing this, but we get new people every day that don't know that we've launched this. But samsonprint.net.
It is your online pick your poison, pay now service portal where you can drag and drop pictures and verbiage into templates. You can print and order directly from the online portal so that you're not having to email in the newsletter or email in the addresses and then email the list that says what you want them to print and then emailing in the artwork and then the artwork comes back and it's not correct because it doesn't go through the printers. This will not let you order without approving if something's off. So if you get one of those little ugly red triangles that said you have a pixelation problem, if you click OK and it comes out pixelated, you approved that. So otherwise, you can change the resolution or whatever and make it better. So remember those templates, drag and drop, super easy to use. If you go onto the Print Center on the Cardinal Nest, Print Center on the left-hand nav bar, you can see the videos that Melissa Walsh has done teaching you how to use it. It talks about how to log in and all of that good stuff. And those are tied in directly into our machines. And we're super excited to announce in the coming next couple weeks, we will have brand new high-powered machines filling up our print center. So we are
supposed to be last week.
It was supposed to be last week.
To get in there every day.
Now it's next
there's
week.
This missing piece.
Yes, but we should have 3 brand new machines in our print center that are going to increase not only our capabilities but the production quality as well of our pieces. So we're super excited to get those.
We are. So that's hopefully coming here.
Coming to a town
in the
near
next
you.
couple days. But if you have any questions on that, watch the videos first on the Print Center stuff because Melissa did some very simple to follow videos. Now, and we did Zoom classes on them in the first couple weeks. If you do have additional questions and you've watched the quick video, the tutorial, then you can reach out to Melissa at mwalsh@samsonproperties.net.
And guys, we do that on a lot of things. We have the quick intro tutorials on KV Core. We've got it on SkySlope. We've got it on Docebo, Samson University. All of the tools and resources have those introductory step-by-step tutorials on video on the Nest. Please remember that there's 5,600 of you and one of them. So please make sure you're self-serving and checking into the Cardinal Nest to watch those little quick videos first before you reach out and say, I don't want to watch the video, just teach me, because there's a lot of you and they need a little help. And be nice, they're working hard, they're training hard, and they're doing a great job, but they've got a lot of people to train at once. So try to jump into those, watch those, or jump into one of their workshops. And then if you still don't understand, they will be happy to do a one-on-one with you, where they'll log in, you can follow their computer, you can watch either in person or online via Zoom. They'll do those one-on-ones with you.
Si, senorita.
Si.
Mr. Bruce Stern, our
hello, Bruce. Good
managing
morning.
attorney here for Maryland, D.C. Cardinal Title Group. We got one up here,
Bruce,
Mr.
one right
Stern.
here in the chair.
Right in the chair, right where you expect it to be.
Just make sure it's on.
How you doing there, Mr. Stern?
Fantastic.
Yes.
Good to see everybody.
Good to be seen. Wait a minute. Did I do that right?
Good to be seen. It could be good to see you too.
See, Justin, is he in the shot?
Mine is minor detail. You get in the middle.
Okay.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so
That
yeah,
light's
that's great.
blasting me right in the.
Let Bruce get up in there.
I
So
would
how are
love
things
to.
at Cardinal?
Everything's great. We're looking forward to a very busy spring market, as I'm sure all you guys are as well too. And you know, it's great. And I love being up here in this beautiful White Marsh office.
Yes, it is.
I always come up here and I think, oh, I want to work out of this office.
I want to thank all you Maryland, D.C. people. We saw a jump last week because we track the contracts in and closings every week, obviously, and we doubled week over week from like the last 4 or 5 weeks previous. Last week we had double the amount of contracts
That's
in.
awesome, you
Right.
guys.
For Maryland, D.C.
Nice
specific.
job.
So,
Thank you.
you know-
Thank you for putting your trust in us.
Yes, which is great. So keep those contracts coming. We know December, January, and the beginning of February there weren't a ton of closings because that was the November, December contracts. But we've seen the contracts tick up across our company, but across Cardinal. Last 3 weeks have been great. You know, a big jump in Maryland last week. So hopefully that's a great sign of things to come. So thank you all for all that.
Right. You're making the Virginia people nervous.
You are making the Virginia.
That's-
Last week, Maryland, D.C. almost got Virginia.
Yeah,
They've
we were
gotten close a
catching
couple
up.
weeks, but I'm not going to say how close it was, but it was really close. So you guys keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
Bruce-
It is
Yeah,
a com-
there's a
it is
little-
a competition.
there is
Bruce will
a little
just come down and
competition.
just flex.
Bruce
right
goes,
into
I
the
want
middle.
to win.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
So we've
This
got,
spring we have to beat Virginia.
we've
this
got
one week.
great staff, so all over our footprint, but we'd love to have you give us your trust, and they'll take good care of your business for sure.
You guys crush those Virginia realtors. This is only going to the Maryland people, right?
I love all of you. Virginia, Maryland, D.C., West Virginia, Delaware.
I love whoever's
Pennsylvania.
selling more. Go get them.
Right. Right. But you guys are doing great.
Yes.
So.
So you had some notes up here, Mr.
Yes,
Stern?
I do. A couple things I just want to go over with you. I get phone calls every week from people. You're always welcome to call any of the attorneys at Cardinal Title. And these are just some of the questions I got that I want to address to you, because if someone else is asking the question, maybe you have the same question too. First thing, Baltimore City. Okay.
In Baltimore City.
Wait a minute. You got to say it like you live here.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Okay. I'm not even going to try that. Just saying, you're getting it wrong.
I say Baltimore. Like I put like 9 syllables in it.
All right. How do you say it correctly?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
No, that's like saying it correctly. That's not how real Baltimore.
Yeah, that's like saying.
Barbara can say it how you
She
really
says
say
that's
it.
the ghetto way. That's awesome.
That's the ghetto way.
All right, wait a minute. Say it. Balmer.
Balmer.
Like it's kind of like it's balmy here. Balmer.
No.
Yeah, I put a lot of syllables in
no
mine.
syllables.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
So Baltimore City.
At Baltimore City, as you all know, we have to get tax lien certificates for closings. The Baltimore City Transfer Office is having enormous problems right now that they're trying to get working through. They've
always had
problems.
it.
It's only gotten worse. Okay?
So is that just in Baltimore City then?
In Baltimore City.
Okay.
Yes, just in Baltimore City. The Maryland Land Title Association, which we're a member of, they met with the people in Baltimore City to try and work out the issue, see what was going on, see if they could lend any assistance. Did not make any headway, unfortunately. So it is taking an extraordinary long time for us to get lien certificates. And we cannot close without having a lien certificate. So when you're writing a contract, keep that in mind. We're not going to be able to do a very quick settlement because we need those lien certificates.
So what's a good time to put in the contract then? How much longer should they add?
I'd say it's 2 years.
Did you say 2 years?
To be determined.
I heard someone say 60 days, and that's great. If you can get it out
I
in
heard
60
2
days.
years. I don't want that. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
So 60 days.
So
60 day
it's
close.
just, it's a problem, and I know some people say, can you hold an escrow from the seller until you get the lien certificate? We can't do that because there's too much liability there. I've seen lien certificates where there are problems and they report that the seller didn't know about $45,000 liens. Okay, so it can be, we can't assume that liability. So just keep that in mind when you're writing a
because we have
contract
no idea
for
what it
having a
could
problem.
be. It could be $200,000.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the water bills?
Water
It's tough
bills-
to run up a $200,000 water bill, but
Right.
but you don't know what those tax liens
The
could be.
city could put those liens on. That was for construction the city did on a property,
Right.
and they were owed $45,000 for it. So Donnie would not be very happy if I came to him and said, we made a mistake, we closed without having
We
a lien
closed one, it was
certificate. We owe
$200,000.
$45,000.
That wouldn't be ideal. That wouldn't
But
be a
the,
good day
the
for
county,
Bruce.
the city controls the county, Baltimore County's water bills
Right.
too. So what does that do to the
Well,
delay in the
water
Baltimore
bills
County?
water bills are an issue. The biggest issue is that obviously the other things that may appear on the lien cert that we don't know about. And that's where the real big numbers come in.
Yeah.
So.
Water bill you can only run up so bad. Even if it's $5,000, that's a lot, right? But it's the other liens that could be attached
In the
to it.
district,
How do you
in
run
the
up a
district-
$5,000
In the
water
District
bill?
of Columbia, we actually had a
Long
27,000.
showers.
Very. You too must have teenage children.
You never saw the
Yeah.
fire?
That,
Yeah.
Pull plumbing out while the guy's taking a shower upstairs? Seriously?
Oh my heavens. No.
you never saw The Wire? Great show.
No. Great show.
Sarah doesn't watch TV.
I don't watch TV.
Okay.
I watch Hallmark movies.
It's HBO, it's not TV.
Oh, I don't have HBO.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why. But just so you know, we did get a $27,000 water bill in DC once.
We did?
We
Oh,
did.
wow.
Fortunately, it was before the closing, but it did pose a big issue.
So at least
That's a lot
try
of
to put
water
at least
people.
60 days Baltimore City
Yes.
as the tax lien problem.
Yes. Okay. Every now and then people call us. We got a call last week about doing a tax sale, property being bought out of a tax sale. We cannot close properties that are purchased out of a tax sale, or if someone just bought it and they're selling it, it's the first sale out of a tax sale. Our title insurance underwriters will not underwrite those transactions. There's too much risk and liability involved. So just be aware that we cannot close tax sales.
So for new people, define quickly a tax sale.
That means Sarah doesn't know what it is.
Basically, the city or the counties can sell a property for unpaid real estate taxes. And they're sold out at every, I think, county in the city have a tax sale once a year. And so they sell these properties. We can't do the closings on those.
Who does the closings? Two other title companies or just?
I don't know if others, I'm not sure if they just have a
I
lawyer do it.
I actually don't know
Yeah.
where those close.
I'm not sure, but I just tell people we can't do it.
We
And
can't
they-
do that. Okay.
I assume
Got
they
it.
get done by somebody.
Somebody's doing
But
it.
it's not Cardinal Title because there's too much risk involved. And we have two different title insurance underwriters we use here in Maryland. Neither of them will insure that. Okay.
You want to be able to insure the title. It's normally
It's important, yeah.
Right.
it's normally important.
Especially when you're buying a tax sale property.
Yeah, because you don't know what else is going
Yeah.
on there.
I got a phone call last week. Someone asked me if it was a concern if their clients who were the buyers were not U.S. citizens. And did that raise any issues? And that does not raise any issues when you purchase the property. It doesn't matter, we don't care about immigration status when you purchase the property. However, if a non-citizen purchases the property and they go to sell it, they may be subject to FERPTA taxes. Okay?
Donnie's favorite subject, FERPTA.
Exactly.
FERPTA.
Which I just attended a seminar yesterday on. But so just be aware, buyers, it doesn't matter at all. If they're non-resident aliens, they will be subject to FERPTA taxes
And
upon the
FERPTA
sale.
tax can be what, 10, 15 to 20%?
10 to 15% of the sale price if FERPTA is applicable, and it's the sale price, not the net proceeds, unlike the Maryland withholding tax.
So if it's like a $400,000 sale, you're talking about having to hold back $40,000 to $60,000.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Look at you doing math over there.
There are some exemptions to that, but
I'm
that's
pretty smart.
correct.
Some days. Some days.
Okay. An issue that we have occasionally also is we need your clients, if your client's the purchaser, they need to wire us funds, especially if it's a large amount of money. A lot of people just assume they can bring a cashier's check for $500,000. That's not what we want. We want them to wire the proceeds in. If their lender has given them an estimate and they wired money in and they're short, obviously if it's $1,000, couple $1,000, we'll take a cashier's check. Not an issue. If it's less than $1,000, we'll take a personal check if you guys guarantee it.
And there is a difference.
And
You guys
One
do
person
guarantee
got
it.
that.
Only Vicky's the only
We'll
one.
take IOUs on napkins.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly right.
And there is a huge difference between ACH and wire. So we're having the same problem with earnest money deposits coming in, as I'm sure that we're seeing at the settlement occasionally. People are trying to send it in and they're initiating it online, but that's ACH. In many cases, wires, you have to go into your bank. So make sure you're doing wire, not ACH.
And confirm, you're about to say this, but go ahead. I was going to say confirm your wiring instructions.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And we only send our wire instructions out through Qualia for security reasons. We continue to get fraud attempts. And I'll jump down to my last bullet point, beware of wire fraud. I just heard last week of a title company in the region that went out of business because they mistakenly wired $500,000 out to a fraudulent account. So they closed down because they couldn't cover that. There is insurance for it, but there are lots of loopholes in that insurance. So we're always very, very, very careful about wire instructions.
Look, we cannot close our minds to this, guys. We've got to talk to our clients about it. So you do not wire money anywhere until you're sure you've checked the wiring instructions, because look, the bad guys get smarter every day. And the emails look like they're coming from Bruce@CardinalTitleGroup.com, but it has a L instead of an I in title. And it's like, well, no, it was Bruce. I was like, no, it wasn't. If something seems fishy, pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Pick up the phone and call Bruce, call people at Cardinal, make sure, confirm those wiring instructions. That you do not want to be the person on the other end that their buyer sent 50 or 100 grand to some guy and they've taken off with it somewhere. That is a sad day.
Right.
There's nothing we can do about it. I mean, they send it to the wrong, so you got to educate your buyers and sellers.
Last thing I want to talk about is you guys doing great jobs when you're holding when we have to hold an escrow for you for a repair or something that needs to be done. Obviously, you're doing an addenda to the contract, which is great. But make sure that when you're drafting those addenda, you discuss with the agent on the other side and your clients, what if? So, for example, we'll get a repair escrow, and it may be in the winter, and we hold $2,000 for the pool heater to be tested or repaired in the spring. Well, what happens if it's never tested or repaired? And then we've got this $2,000 that sits in our account for a long time. So just put deadlines in there. It will be done within 6 months. If not, the money is refunded to the seller, or the buyer will just keep the money, whatever it may be. But we just need some clear instructions on that so there are no issues down the road and we get that money out of our accounts. Obviously, if there's an issue regarding monies that we've escrowed and the parties can't agree, we then have to interplead the money with the court, which means we basically turn the money over to the court and say, we don't know who's entitled to this, you get to decide.
They will not make the decision. So
Right.
The more clear you can make in that negotiation that it's addendums up front, the better, because you might say, oh, it's not a big deal, we'll figure that out later. Until later comes, and both sides are staring at each other, and Cardinal's not, they're just the third party. They're not picking who gets the money and who doesn't.
Absolutely right.
Sorry, I like to throw context.
No, that's it. Absolutely right. That's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Have a great month. It's great seeing you guys all in person. Any
for Mr.
questions, I can
Stern?
take your questions. So,
There you go.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Well,
Bruce. Thank
sure.
you all for your support.
crush it this spring.
Thank
Let's
you.
crush
Awesome,
Virginia.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your support. And, for those that don't know, Bruce and a lot of the staff, the headquarters is in Gaithersburg in our Rio office, but we've got great staff all over our Maryland footprint. In most of our offices, we have a great staff around Maryland that is able there to sit there and help you every day. But Bruce is always a phone call away if you have other questions. So we have some guests from First Heritage Mortgage here.
do.
I believe we have Mr. Paul Lancaster sitting there.
Come on up.
Come on up, Paul.
There you go.
It's your debut appearance at
Yeah,
the San
absolutely.
Sales meeting.
I'm brand new to First Heritage.
There you go. Where were you before? I'm not going to ask.
No,
you
yeah,
before.
no. We won't worry about that.
That's like water cooler talk, maybe not on camera talk, but well, great. So you're brand new to First Heritage, just joined a couple months ago.
He says I've been married forever.
Well, yeah.
It all
Feels
feels
like it
that.
sometimes.
And his bio, you guys can't read it here, but online. I love to fish, and I've been married since
Forever.
That's what it says.
That's
Seems like
hilarious.
it.
3 grandbabies, and they live 7 minutes away, which is awesome. So good for you.
We love the
Absolutely.
grandbabies.
And you're
Absolutely.
excited to get into work with Samson
not worried
Agents.
about
So
the
we're
kids,
excited to
the
have you,
grandbabies.
Paul.
Right, they're old enough.
Welcome. Anything else you need to get to know you other than the, you like to fish and you've been married forever? Anything we want to share?
Been doing this for a long time. I've known John forever. So somehow I went to lunch with him, and somehow I ended up at First
Good
Heritage.
job, John Russell. Way to get-
Nice
John
job. Nice
Russell, one of
job.
our
That
other
happened.
great first years loan officers in the crowd up here. So you joined us recently. That's
Absolutely.
fantastic. Been doing it forever. What offices are you mostly going to be visiting? Just White Marsh or any other First Heritage offices? do you know?
Probably Waldorf, Bowie.
And Columbia.
Columbia.
Boomy's young Columbia, so she wants you.
Boomie said, "Are you not hearing me? I've said it 3 times."
Columbia. Don't know where it is yet, but I'll find it.
Just put it in ways like I do. It'll take you right there.
Just put it in ways
Absolutely.
that
Yeah,
gets
just put it in
to
ways, you'll get
Samson
there.
Properties Columbia. That's what Sarah does.
Absolutely.
Well, she shows up at the right place most of the time, so it works. Well, good. Well, you brought a couple things to talk about here today, right?
Yeah, my favorite time of the year, FHLB grant. I'm not sure if you guys are really familiar with it. Probably
is-
are.
What's FHLB? First time home buyer?
You
see?
put me on the spot.
FHLB.
Federal Home
Federal
Loan Bank
Home
of
Loan.
Federal
Atlanta.
Home Loan Bank. There you
Of
go.
Atlanta.
Federal
I don't
Home
know
Loan
why. I don't know
Bank.
where
John
the Atlanta
with the
came
W
from.
on that one. All right. FHLB.
I'm not used to being on camera.
No? No, there's no T. I was making. Well, it's confusing because right underneath it says first time home buyer.
First time home buyer. Yeah.
It was like that
does- it
Freudian
kinda matches
split
up.
thing.
So some new
Federal
things.
Home Loan Bank. There you go. Go.
So some new things about it. This year, first-time home buyers are getting $12,500. Community partners, which I'll explain a little bit, are getting $15,000 this year. Funds are available 2/21. So some great things
2/21.
about it.
So that's
February
like 10 days.
21.
Yep. 2
absolutely.
weeks. Less than 2 weeks. All right.
Some of the great things about it that I love
Bless.
is it's stackable.
Bless you.
You can use it with any other program.
Stackable?
Yeah.
Is that like?
It's like taking your discounts and stacking them.
Stacking
in
them
your
up.
cart.
Gotcha, okay.
I use it a lot with the Maryland Mortgage Program.
Okay.
So you can use it with any other program. So it's a great for that. It's the only program that kind of works
Do you have
off
to
of
pay
your
back
income.
this 12.5?
Good question.
I try to bring the heat.
So it's on a 5-year forgivable.
Okay.
So they're
So as long as you
obligated
stay
to
there 5 years.
Yeah, they're obligated for 5 years. Then it's fully forgivable. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then they prorate it.
Okay.
So you got to pay it back in portion. Yes, ma'am.
Barbara.
There is. So
Income
that
limits.
was one of the
Barbara's
parts.
question was,
That's one of
is
the
there
biggest
income
parts. is
limits?
That there are income limits, and they're by county and by occupant. So you have to be very careful. So if we pre-approve a borrower, and I always ask them where you're thinking about moving, and they say Prince George's, Montgomery, or something, and then they switch it up to Anne Arundel. The income limits are really different. So you got to really pay attention to that. And the occupants really matter. So we really kind of dive into that. And
Does the dog count?
No, but if she's with child, if
Oh.
your borrower is with child, that does count. So I've done that a few times.
No dog. Baby
No
in the
dogs, though.
grove.
Sorry, guys. What else is great about it is for the first-time home buyers, obviously, the definition is 3 years, or obviously haven't owned or haven't owned in 3 years. For community partners, kind of my favorite part, it's not just the guys you see, the law enforcement, the firefighters, the first responders, the military, the educators, but it's also whoever works for them. So I've done it for bus drivers who happen to work for Prince George's County. They're still considered community partners, and or counselors in the school. And they don't necessarily have to be first-time home buyers either. So they could have sold their house last week. So they don't have the same criteria as the others.
So like teachers? Anybody?
Teachers, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Can
Yes,
I
sir.
get a part-time job at a school to get eligible real quick?
Probably could.
Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yes.
Some restrictions on the community partners.
Oh, great question.
No, there's not.
Question was, is
But
there
that's a
different
good
income
question.
restrictions
Yeah.
on the community partners than the
So what it
first-time
is, we
home
have a
buyers?
chart. We're just looking, plug and play.
Unfortunately, by definition, most of the community partners
Don't make that much. Yeah.
qualify. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
not because the world's
Yeah,
backwards.
that's kinda
but,
sad.
You know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of
But
sad.
most of them are underneath where they should be. But it's a good question. Yes,
We
sir.
got a question. Just push it up.
Okay, when you said bus drivers, did you mean MTA drivers or school bus?
So, more of a school bus driver, working for the education system. So, like Prince George's County, the ones who shuttle our kids for back and forth.
The yellow bus.
Yeah, absolutely. Those.
Yellow bus.
Can they be contracted school bus drivers? Or they have to be city bus drivers?
That is a good question. I don't know if they can be contracted. Do they contract bus drivers now? I didn't even know they did that. The county does. So, I mean,
Yeah.
so the private
It
company.
probably
Question
has to
was
be
if they
based
should
on
be
W-2
contracted
income.
bus drivers or that's
Yeah, I
specific.
would think that it would probably have to be W-2 over 1099.
Yeah, and I would probably run that through our underwriter to
We probably have to
double
check, but the probably would have to be W-2.
Yeah, I would think so, most likely.
But when in doubt, the best thing to do is
Call your loan
to
officer.
get in and
But they can
let
still
Paul run
use the first-time
through. Could
home
do that.
buyer.
So the community
know.
partners, is that 15 grand, same thing with 5 years, or is that?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, they have a 5-year obligation to the property,
and that could be paid. That could be used for what? Just down payment.
down payment and closing cost.
Oh, there you go.
So
That is. We need some more of that stuff and all over.
We don't have a lot of that in
You
Virginia.
guys, that is awesome. 15 grand, just
Yeah.
we can use it in Virginia.
we ain't that.
He just said you could use it in Virginia.
You can?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, then people need to tell me about it more. I don't
Well,
think
I don't know if you'd income
I'm not
qualify.
a-
Well, they've got a great point. It's probably qualification of income limits.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know
of
if you'd
the different
income
counties.
qualify.
Some counties will
I don't know
qualify,
your
some
income,
won't.
but I'd say you probably not.
I don't qualify.
You may not.
Yeah,
I don't-
but probably not.
Y'all think I make more than I do.
So that's really all I got.
Excellent. How's everything else going with rates currently?
Rates are doing a dance, but we will
Hello,
make it
can
work
you
for all
go?
of your borrowers. So just send them on over to us.
I did see, because I'm subscribed somehow to like 10 to 12 of you wonderful first year loan officers email list. That
Yeah,
there
no
was a-
offense when I hit unsubscribe. It is not because I don't like you. It's because I've already gotten it 10 times.
Yeah. So when something happens, when a tree falls in the forest, I hear it because I get all the emails. You guys had a brand new 5-year ARM program I saw that was out there that looked exciting. It looked like down to 4.625. At least
Yeah.
it's one I got, the email I got. That's good stuff.
We got a 5-1 arm, a 7-1 arm. So, and they're both really, really competitive.
Get
Love
with them
arms.
and get those pricing out. And I'm going to look to do that in future sales meetings where we actually show not hard numbers. Okay, $500,000 loan at this price. Okay, but in an ARM, this much you could save because sometimes it's easier for people to see numbers. But to me, look, if this is not your forever home, you're going to be here 12, 15, 20 years, get the 5-year ARM. Save all the money now. If at some point you want to refi because you're going to stay longer than 6, 7 years, great. At some point, maybe rates will be in a better place and you can refinance it then, but save the money,
John helped me with a borrower in December. The young lady was at a 7.5% because that's where they were, buying a $700,000 home. We reworked it using our 7-1 ARM at 5.5%. She saved $1,000. She didn't want to do it, but that's where we try to educate them as much as we can.
Why?
She was saving $1,000 a month.
We calculated it was like $1,002 a month.
See,
Yeah,
you guys
We
think I'm
still
just blowing
could've done
smoke
it.
up with this ARM stuff. $700,000, yes, that's a high purchase, but in a lot of areas it's normal. It's high in some counties. But $700,000, and you went from 7 to 5.5, $1,000 a month.
$7,000 a
That's a
month.
big deal, guys.
Man.
Yeah.
Hold on one
Scary,
second.
A little scary.
Can we
Yeah.
grab
Oh,
a mic here?
I got one.
Sarah, so when I say, can we grab a mic?
So that 4.75 rate is good for 5 years before it starts to fluctuate, or
That's
no?
a 5-1 ARM.
That was a 5-1, but yes. So after 5 years, typically in an ARM, that particular email I got, and it doesn't mean that every single person's going to qualify for that ARM, but they're as low as that. But yeah, a 5-year ARM, I'm doing Paul's talking here, but
No,
it's
go
fine. You're locked in for that 5 years, and you're paying interest, you're paying principal, it's a great loan. Year 6, it could go up, depends on.
Yeah, it might not.
It could not go up, depends what the rates
Might
are now.
actually-
I've had them
It
before
could
where they've
go
gone
up.
down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've gone.
Absolutely.
A lot of people that had ARMs in the last 3 years, when rates were so low, they were going down when they got to their end point. But it could go up. Most of the time, it has a cap of 1 to 2 points per year, and then it has a lifetime cap. But so yeah, you might get back some of that money year 6, some of it year 7, but it's not like it just goes crazy, it's still going to adjust to what today's rates are then. So it's not.
And even if today's rates jumped, like people that were coming out of ARMS when the rates went from 4 to 7.5, there may be a 2% max on what it can adjust.
Lifetime cap.
The cap. So it still may not be as high as what the average rates are going on in the marketplace.
When you talk
so
about
it's a
what
lot
you're
of
going to save
flexibility.
in those first 60 payments, if you're planning to move at some point, either refinance or sell in 5, 6, 7, 8 years, save all that money in the first 5 years. And if at some point rates drop down, great, refinance later if you feel better in a 30-year fix. But that savings is astronomical when you talk about why give it back. I mean, look, I personally, I want to be in my forever home. I was in the 10-year ARM and then a 7-year ARM because rates dropped down. I was like, look, I'm going to save so much money in these next payments. And at some point, they'll come back down, I'll refinance, or I'll sell, or I'll do whatever it is. But 10 years is a long time, guys. And
it's a long time.
Even a 7-year ARM, they really don't need to look at anything for 8 or 9 years, and that's so long. So few people are still in their home 8, 9, 10, 12 years from now in a lot of cases, Or they've paid it down to a great point that even refinancing at that point or taking that ARM hit is less minimal. It's minimal because half your mortgage is half what it used to be, as far as the principal left. I'm just talking now.
No, absolutely.
But you guys are picking up what I'm saying.
It's just
you can tell I'm passionate about ARMs.
Education.
Yeah.
Educating them because they're scared of them.
Yeah.
A lot of folks are, and this lady was scared of it. And no matter what we said, she didn't want to do it. But the math is the math.
Yep.
So.
And the reason some people are scared is because they got a bad connotation back in the 03 to 06 when the market was going crazy, because that's not the ARMs we're doing now. They're fully principal and interest amortized loans now. They're not the interest-only stuff that we were doing in 03, 04, 05, 06, and the no-income, no-asset stuff where you could say, yeah, I make $1 million, give me this great ARM, and it's going to be 2.5% teaser now in 1 year, but then by year 4, I can't afford this payment. That's not this stuff. It is secured for 5 to 7 years. You are paying principal. You're just saving on some of that interest.
Absolutely. Make perfect sense.
There you go.
Any other questions
Get on
for
my
First
soapbox.
Heritage?
Well, we've got great partners here,
Yeah.
guys. First Heritage loan officers are fantastic. We've added Paul to our great group, so I'd encourage you to reach out to them. So thank you, Paul.
Awesome.
When in doubt, guys, get with a loan officer. We can answer general questions here in a 5 or 10 minute session, but when you have a particular buyer, get with John, get with Paul, get with these great loan officers all over our footprint.
Let them run credit. Let them look at the assets. Let's
Let
look
them
at the
show
income,
options.
figure out what their options are, and lay it out for them.
I mean, they lay down an option. A person saves $1,000 a month. Well, if you just blindly say, well, 30-year fix for 7%, I can't afford money. Well, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I'm not saying you have to be an expert on financing, but you have to know enough to have good conversations and not have people close doors because they hear that the 30-year fix is
Well, it also
this.
it's also
or they
dependent
punch something
on,
into an online calculator and they're like, I can't afford this. Well,
right. But
they
also
might be
know
able to.
your people. Like if
Yep.
your people are, and I'm making this up and stereotyping, but if they're young and
Don't
newly,
stereotype.
I am,
Don't
and they're
put ba-
and you
don't-
newly married.
don't put baby in a box.
I'm putting baby in the box. But they're young and they're newly married, and they buy this 1-bedroom condo. They're not staying in that 1-bedroom condo. They're going to get a dog or have a baby or whatever. They're not going to stay in that 1-bedroom condo forever. So don't put them in a 30-year. Talk to them about one of the shorter-term loans so that they can save the money, save up,
Even
and
if
then
they
get in.
don't need the savings and they're
I mean,
fine
I
with the
use
interest
that.
rate, they should be in an ARM. They're
Yeah.
not going to be in that condo more
They're
than
not
7 years
right.
probably, right? So put them in a 5 or 7 year ARM. That's not going to be the real life plan for that. So
Right.
unless they're going to keep it as an investment forever, they're not going to hold that property more than 7
Well,
years.
and sometimes you have to have hard conversations. I had one of my clients' moms, and she was very risk averse, but she wanted a 30-year fix. Well, she was 80. I mean, I had to have the conversation with her and go, I love you. You're like my mom. You aren't living to 110. Like, why in the world are you going to spend all this extra money on doing a 30-year mortgage when you're 80? Like there are times when you just have to have frank, that's professional conversations with love.
She went there.
With love and kindness.
Mr. Chuck's got a.
Do the math.
Do you have a mic? Chuck.
Chuck has the math. Donnie goes, please, Chuck,
Please,
take
Chuck.
the mic.
Get up here before Sarah talks about more people that are going to die before their loan ends.
I just want to share with everybody, especially everybody for listening here in Maryland. One of the things that we've been doing with our customers is tax time. It's a great time, of course, to reach out, and we are actually trying to get people financed right now that maybe their W-2s are now coming in the mail, their 1099s are now coming in the mail. maybe they have wrote off too much as a business in the past. They couldn't qualify. We're working with a couple, or First Heritage Mortgage right now, and some others that they couldn't qualify because they wrote off their income or they didn't make enough. It's tax season. Things are different. Call those people up. There's people out there that, hey, what if it's 100 houses across the company at an entry level with a $200,000 house? That's $20 million in sales across the company. So think about it. Tax time. Reach out to those people, especially if you know they didn't qualify in the past. They might qualify now. Those grant monies are there. There's a lot of refilling of grants, and like John and like there's just you can stack these grants. So there's people that can get into homes. It might only seem like a $150,000 or $200,000 sales. $20 million.
Well, the other piece of that too is if you do it early enough, the loan officer can say, I need you to show this much income. So then the small business owner can go back to their CPA and go, look, I know we're trying to reduce my taxes, but my loan officer says I need to show this much income to be able to get in this house. So what do we need to do?
What do you mean, Sarah? That happens?
That does. That does. That does.
I have no idea what she's speaking of.
Sometimes you will pay for your own lawn to be mowed versus your company paying for it. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
All good advice, you know. So
Yes.
the key is, look, there are lots of great programs out there, and we try to highlight some of them here, but get with loan officers, get those buyers educated so that you can find a great way. I mean, look, you could have somebody close and not realize they qualified as a community partner. You just get the opportunity to give them $15,000 of free money. I mean, that's unbelievable. You know,
I
so
love all those grants.
I love free money.
I love free money.
I would like free money.
But if I had that, I would call every single person if I lived in an area that qualified, I would call every single police officer I know, every single firefighter I know, especially the ones that were renting, and I'd say, hey, I got $15,000 in grant money for you. Let's go. Right, let's sell some house. They don't have to be first-time home buyers, so they need to sell something.
Gina,
stop being negative.
Don't pee in my Cheerios, Gina.
He said pee in my Cheerios, and you talk about me and the...
Was that bad? I was still on mic, Justin. My fault.
Donnie says, Donnie quote of the week, don't pee in my Cheerios, Gina.
Is that bad? That's the saying. Has anybody heard that saying?
It is. I've heard that one.
Okay.
It's pee in the Wheaties.
Rain on my parade is also a good one.
Well, yeah, but that's...
Don't yuck my yum. I've heard that one. Anybody say that?
No. Pee in my Wheaties. Yeah.
All right. Well,
moving right along. Welcome from Lynn.
Welcome from Lynn in the education department. So Lynn's doing a great job teaching classes all over. She's got her monthly personal challenge to kick off 2023. What is that, Sarah?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You will be
Blast
doing
off.
activities, 5 calls, 4 text messages, 3 emails, 2 contracts, 1 CMA, and a partridge in a pear tree every single day.
You took my joke.
I'm the one that gave you that joke. You stole my joke. Every single day, it's activity, guys. It's activity so that you have results. And it's keeping us on track for those of us that need to check it off and those of us that need guidance because I don't feel like making those calls today, so I'm going to go over here and do this. Well, if you got to physically sit there and check it off or you look like a schmuck and a slacker, that sometimes helps motivate some of us. So it's keeping us accountable. It's the activities that we do. We launched this October, November, December. Those guys are seeing results in January, February, March. These challenges that she's doing, we've got 40 new different sets of clients that we're working with on these different challenge groups that she's doing. So she's doing one now that's a first-time home buyer seminar. There's a challenge going on. You can watch it on the Nest if you want to, and you can call her and get in the group. But time is limited because they're launching into these groups right now. So she is doing a virtual class on February 14th. It is a reminder of how to determine your marketing pillars, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? What is your brand? What are you standing on? What do you do well? What do you not do well? How are you presenting yourself? She's going to be teaching those things. And then she will be...
There's so many of it. I'm hopping in here real quick. But there's so many people that... Look, we talk about a lot of things, right?
So many things.
If we polled all the 25 people in the room on how you do business, there's a lot of different things. You do something well, you do something... Some things are comfortable to you, some things aren't. There's lots of marketing pillars that you can go on.
Sometimes you just forget about them.
But find your right lane, and what works for you. And sometimes if we just do a lot of everything not well, then we're doing nothing really well. And then we sit back in 3 months and we go, I had no business.
I don't have anything, so I'm just not going to do anything because it didn't work.
Find 2 or 3 lanes that really speak to you and are good, that work for you, and then lean into the stuff you're already good at or the things you enjoy doing. Because if you wake up and you got these things to do, but you're like, I don't really get to this because I know I'm not good at this and I hate doing this or whatever, then it's not a good plan, right? Find what works for you. It's like Larry and Laura Bean. They cold call and they do a lot of calling. Well, look, if you're not somebody that calls, that's not a good business plan, right? For an example, so if If you don't really love print advertising, then don't go there. But if you love lean into the things that you're good at. If you're good at taking 2 people to coffee every day, then that's your goal. And you got to reach out to people until you set up 2 coffee meetings a day. You know, whatever it is that you do, there's a ton of different ways that we're going to talk through in here in these classes. But you got to find your way, your 2 or 3
that you can stay committed to, consistent with, and authentic with, right? So she's going to help you do that.
And it'll grow from there,
Yes.
you know. So, and this is a smaller picture thing, but back when I was selling full-time, look, I bought, you know, I did buyers and listings and all this stuff. But at one point I decided I didn't want to work with buyers anymore. I wanted to find a team, and I had some buying agent partners. And be like, oh, wow, you're going to give up all this buyer agent business? And I was like, because I really right now in my life, I'm focused on how to market and get more listings. We're like, but I was like, no. I know that if I focus on the things that I want to focus on, I focus on these 2, 3 things that are going to help me get more listings. And I freed up all this time. I had buyer agent people on my team, but I ended up doubling and tripling my listings within a year because I was focused on 2 or 3 different things in business that I'd create another marketing idea for getting listings here or another thing here. And then I was better at making sure I didn't miss all the dots. Every listing was going to turn into 3 in that neighborhood because I was going to make sure I marketed well. And I make sure I did a good job, and I make sure I reached out to the 10 people. All the different little things you can do. But when you're scattered in your thinking, it's just one example that you don't really excel at anything. So,
well, and what you said is you stayed committed, and you followed through, and you stayed committed to the plan. Versus, oh, well, this is going to make me some money, so let me go over here. Oh, this is going to make me some money, so let me just chasing that shiny that everybody likes to chase versus staying committed to the tried and true. You know, there is no silver bullet. The silver bullet is your energy, your activity, your consistency.
Yeah, and sometimes people can be kind of good at 25 really good things, but then they don't really focus on the 5 things that are going to make them super successful.
I would say if you're trying to be kind of good at 25 things, you half-ass at everything.
Wow. Is that worse than my Cheerios thing? That's kind of a cuss word. My kids would be like, she said the A word.
My son would look at me and go, $8 in the jar.
$8? That's how much the A word is?
All of my words are $8.
$8?
Sometimes I just give him
like
$100
$1
to run me a
jar.
tab.
Mormons are rolling deep.
No,
$8.
Evidently he felt like the dollar was not curbing my mouth, so he just keeps escalating it. And the last time I went off on a tangent, I said, "Here's 100. Mama's running a tab."
That's funny, Sarah. That's a good joke.
Was that good? It actually wasn't a joke. It was actually real. Mama ain't lying. Mama ain't lying.
All right. What's
so
next?
Lynn will also be in Columbia. She is doing an evening class in person in Columbia on March 8th from 6 to 8 p.m.
That's the same day as our Bowie sales meeting. We could make it a whole day.
We are a whole day of Bowie.
So Columbia is not Bowie, but it's in the area. That's what I meant.
Yes.
What's the class?
She didn't tell me. Jumpstart. Thank you. We have a manager over here who knows what the heck's going on. Bowie knows what's happening. So Jumpstart.
This is.
Woohoo!
I think this is Lynn.
I did. I woohooed and I mic dropped for her.
Oh, is that you?
No, that's Lynn.
Well, you did it.
I'm doing the slide. I animated.
She said Lynn's looking good.
Lynn's looking good. There she is.
All right.
So this is a great slide.
Here's the part where I'm actually going to stop for a second, and you guys got to get bold with some microphones. Who's got them? Who's got them? Justin,
I have
Sarah?
the microphones.
All right. I want to know. I don't want to hear about you, and there's no listings, Gina. I'm joking.
No listings.
It's a real thing.
It's a listing inventory.
I want to hear what you're seeing out there in the day-to-day. Don't be bashful. You know, Sarah and I know, I can tell you I look at a lot of numbers and I see lots of things out there, but I want to know what you guys are experiencing every day. So
every marketplace
anybody
is different.
that's
every
got
different.
something willing to share. I know Chuck's back there thinking, I'm going to share.
You got
what do you got, Chuck? I just got picked on you first because you already grabbed the mic once.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to make Barbara talk in a second,
shy
too.
away from the mic. We are definitely seeing some things pick up. Definitely was slow December, January. Kind of like what you said with the contracts coming in for Cardinal, we're starting to see a lot more people. Also, the programs where we've been just loving on our database and doing those small things a lot of times. A lot of coffee, a lot of emails, but a lot of good phone calls. We're just loving on that database, and we are seeing some things change. December and January, I'll be very honest, scared me to death. But we're starting to see some more trickling in. And we're talking to our loan partners, talking to other people out there, and we're starting to see the same thing in this area. Also, when you're driving through our communities, you're starting to see some more sale signs out there. So it's coming slowly.
I love you loving on your people because people need that.
Yes.
Even though they don't know they need that, you just showing a little love and serving them, just that whole love on your family, it it does wonders for their soul.
If it wasn't for our people, we wouldn't be here today.
Right.
Right. And
Right,
I would say
absolutely.
double down on that because I just read an Inman article this morning, or I guess last night, that said, how all these people all over the industry, the word's getting out about more positive stuff. Like, look, if you have that open house that you had 25 people at, post about it.
Yeah.
Good news begets good news. Like, I hear lots of good stories, but and Gina, your point, I'm joking about it, but it's real. There's not enough listings, right? That's the big thing right now, right? I think buyers are coming back out. I think that if I'm asking, our loan officers, John and Paul there, they would tell me, yeah, we're getting more loan applications. People, the rates are settled down. There are some more programs out there. But they need more listings to buy, right?
Yep.
Well, if sellers start to hear
That people are out looking.
that there's more
And
of
they
that
start
positive
to hear
momentum,
that they're going to have
they're still
multiple
going off
contracts
that
and good
knowledge
prices.
of nobody's coming out. If I don't want to put it out there, then
Yeah.
my neighbor's house is sitting. But if they see that multiple offers in that activity, then they're more likely to call, hey, maybe we should sell. Now, the thing is, it's encouraging the sellers. Maybe it's market snapshots. You sit down, you do 10 reports, 10 price estimates for 10 of your clients every day that, go back, not people that bought a year or two ago, but find your database. Anybody's bought 3, 4, 5 to 10, 15, 20 years ago. Send 10 a day. Hey, just checking in. Just wanted can you believe your house has done this? Look at what we could get for your house.
And something else we've been doing also is we've been really educating. I love education. Love educating other realtors, but love educating consumers. And even my own dad, I called the other day, and he goes, how's business? I'm like, oh, not where I want it to be, but it's definitely coming back. We definitely had a couple slow months. He goes, well, it's them 8% interest rates. I'm like, they're not 8%. Let me tell you why. And so he has a lot of people who work for him. I'm like, tell them it's not 8%. It's not 7% right now. It's time to buy. Get back in the market before there's 10 people waiting in line like we had a year or two ago to see
Right.
that same house that 9 people are going to lose.
Well,
out
and
on.
what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Right. You got to start it somewhere.
That's another saying. Look at you.
Education.
Miss Vicky.
I knew that one.
We're seeing home contingencies being
Okay.
accepted more.
Sale of
home?
Sale of home.
Yeah.
contingencies? Okay.
Yeah, so we have one that we have the buyer who is selling her house, and the contingency is on selling her house.
Yep.
And somebody just put an offer in on her house after 3 days on the market at full offer with a contingency of selling their house.
And
And it's a lot of cash
So they're
out
stacked.
there.
Yeah, and
lot
I
of
wouldn't be
cash.
afraid to take those stacker deals like that.
Yeah,
because
no,
the
we-
chains, because as soon,
Find
well,
it.
A, you can kick them out like Barbara said, but B, look, when they put the lowest, to run up the food chain there,
Mm-hmm.
the lowest one's going to get the offers, but the buyers are out there, and and they've got the.
And they're serious buyers.
And they're
Like,
gonna
th-
get- they're
right now
gonna
they're
get that
serious.
contract.
Like
There
they
might have
want to
been a
see a
time-
house, they want to put offers in. Like
Yeah,
they're
2,
like
3, 4 months
serious.
ago, I might have been worried, can they get a contract on the lowest one that'll run everything up the hill? But not today. The buyers up the food chain are there. I mean, we were at Gainesville a week or two
Yeah.
ago, and they were like, look, we had a listing in November, December. We did an open house each month, and
It was on for 50 some days.
nobody came. Then we did an open house January 20th, and we had, 35, 40 people through. Because
Right.
there's more activity online. The jumps, as far as the showings jumps, per listing, not a lot of listings out. The activity online, I mean, the charts just go straight up like this the last 3 weeks. So the activity in the buyers and the people that visit open houses, that stuff's there. So don't be afraid to take contingent contracts. And to John's point, or Chuck's point, get them out there now because, you can get a home sale contingency now, but you might not be able to get that in 45 days, right?
Might not be
Right.
able to.
Because I think the market's only going to get better every week. Now all of a sudden I got this $600,000 house. I don't have to wait for your contingent contract. You go sell it for $300. I'm going to stay on the market at $600. I'm going to get somebody that doesn't need the contingency, even though
Well,
there's
and
a little
pricing it
risk.
right,
I don't want to wait
pricing it
for
right.
it. So now you can get the home inspections, the appraisals, even the home sales if you have to. Miss Gina, you're not
negative.
going
It's not
to rain on my parade again,
no, but
are
the
you?
good thing is the board is full. There's no room on my board to put the buyers and the potential sellers. They don't want to sell because where are they going to go? And that's what I educate my buyers. Well, why aren't their houses for sale? They got nowhere to go either.
Right.
So that
Right.
they die, they move out of state, or they
They
move in
die.
with
A lot of
somebody.
death talk.
We are very morbid.
That's the only choice.
I mean, people be dying every day. That's what Gina said.
But we did. So we've been encouraged by we have a partner and that put our foot on the gas. No matter how much money you have not at home left, keep it in your business. Just do it. We went through this recession. We didn't make that decision. We did it this time. Our foot is on the gas. We're holding client events. We're holding we're in their faces, we're caring for them, they're coming to our home, whatever. Stay in their face, and it'll build, they'll talk, and they'll talk. Even just put your money in your business the right way. That's the advice we have.
And your time, I mean, I said it in a rant before, but the market reports and reaching out and connecting with CMAs, so your prospective sellers. Look, the best way to get prospective sellers to list their home is shoot them a note and let them know you don't ask them to list their home, but just a nice note about here's a market report in your house. I'm sending these to all my value past clients. Somebody's gonna be like, hold on, what? But I can still get that today? Because some of them last 6 months have turned into its doomsday out there. Like, I can still get 625, multiple offers? Hold on, come over, let's talk. To your point, they need something to buy, but some of them might be moving out of the area or whatever.
We're committed to client reviews twice a week.
Yeah.
So real client reviews, and then telling them, I'm not trying to sell your house, I'm just showing you what's trending in value, what's trending in
because if you're not
equity,
doing it,
somebody
their
else.
bartender is, and their best friend is, and their
and their dad
and
that
their
works
dad
with a lot of people that
is
thinks the 8%
right.
interest rates out
People
there.
who have listened to the news and the sky's falling, and bad news is the only news that sells. So people don't know. You can't assume that they do know what's going on when this is our world every day. We have to educate them on what's happening.
But overall, a lot of really positive signs is there. Laker dancer.
Laker dancer.
Thanks for the new name, Donnie.
I know.
So I think this ties into exactly what you're saying. I think I'm seeing more of the value proposition for us where our clients are listening to us more. At one point, I'm like, why are you listening to Aunt Susie? She bought a house 10 years ago.
Right.
The market is changing. So I found myself continuously having that conversation with clients like, hey, now is the time to purchase. So I believe that that uptick that we're seeing is that, hey, spring market is getting ready to spring.
Yep.
Right.
Now is the time to purchase so we don't end up chasing the market, because at the end of the day, we do know that we do need more listings. So if we can get ahead of the game right now, this is perfect. So I think that kind of just ties in what a lot of us were saying. So keep going, realtors. I think they love us. They just, they don't listen sometimes.
Well, you bring up a good point, right? Because who's in their ear every day?
Right.
Their best friend, their spouse, their mama, their friend,
The news.
the TV.
Right. Because the news picks up on stuff a little bit later. But look, repost. I would tell you to look at some of, if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to some of these, the Housing Wires and the Inmans and the Living Matters.
Keeping Current Matters.
Keeping Current Matters. I know it was on so much time. Look at some of these publications, because you need the education from outside. Post positive articles, because they're out there. The one I just said that said all these agents all over the country are posting positive things they're seeing. There's a revolution. They think this spring market's coming strong. This article was very over the top about it. But look, more people reposting and sharing that article is going to be a mindset change. So I got excited reading
absolutely.
it.
It is
so
a
will
mindset.
people out there. So
because you create the
I should
destiny
share
that's
that
in your
one
mind.
with everybody,
Right.
so we all get the revolution going. Remind me to do that.
Yes.
But I really do think that, and I look at a lot of numbers, and I'm looking at numbers that have jumped tremendously in contracts the last couple weeks, and that really is and showings and all that kind of stuff. So I do think that we've seen the worst. Just November and December, especially in the beginning of January, where there just wasn't a ton of activity. So I do think the future's very bright. You just got to stick to it. We've gotten through the eye of the storm here, so let's, keep pumping.
Yes.
You gonna do these?
And I do want to do these really quick because this feeds exactly what we're just talking about. So I read an article in Entrepreneur Magazine about what are the 8 mindsets for success. And I thought this was extremely relevant, especially building off our last conversation. Number 1 is positive growth mindset. Positive growth. Yes, bad stuff can happen.
So she can take a picture.
Positive growth can happen. I mean, negative stuff happens, right? But if you sit there and you're, woe is me, and Eeyore about every single thing versus, yep, got it, we're going to adjust, we're going to overcome, we're going to pivot, we're going to adjust, we're going to change this, we're going to change this, we're going to keep addressing it and keep attacking it. That positive growth mindset is going to be the key to your success. Your energy that people are gravitating towards is going to bring more people to you if you attract that energy, right? How many people are attracted to, it's okay? Right? Does anybody attracted to that?
Bother?
I'm okay. Like, nobody likes that, and people run in the opposite direction. But if you are energetic and you're happy and you're talking about just life being great, people are attracted to that energy. So that mindset is huge for success. No risk, no reward. How many of us are scared to death to take a risk?
No pressure, no diamonds.
Right? Some of us are. Some of us are scared to take risks, right? Because risks are hard and risks are outside of our box. But every once in a while, we are not going to grow, we're not going to change, we're not going to evolve if we don't take the risks. So draw yourself your little box, figure out where you are in it, and then take a step. Even if it means I'm going to brush my teeth after I have my coffee, or I'm going to drive down this street on the way home. Do something a little different.
I don't even make those risks.
Risky. Hold now. Right, but step outside of your box just a little bit because it's helping you grow. And no risk, no reward.
So,
don't be afraid.
On a smaller scale, George and Gina were just talking about it, right?
Yes.
They said during the last recession they
took the
pulled
money
back,
and pulled back.
But
this
now they're
time
putting
it's all
money
in.
into their business, and that's a
right?
big risk, right? But that's where the reward is, right? If you grow into a hole and you're like, well, it's going to be tough, I'm just going to wait out the storm and shelter here, well, then you're not going to see the reward. Somebody else is going to be out there pushing with that positive mindset and trying to get those clients that could have been yours.
So absolutely no risk, no reward. Embrace mistakes and move on. Nobody's perfect, even Donnie.
I mess up all the time.
And we love to tell him. We love to tell him.
I hear about it.
He does. So, right, accountability. But here's the thing.
Something
we mess
like
up. It's fine. You accept it. You own it. You fix it. You move forward. You don't sit there and wallow in it that you messed up, because now you're in the cesspool of the muck, right? Acknowledge it, fix it, be accountable for it, move on, fix the problem, and attack a new day with a new idea, and that's a successful mindset.
And that comes too with, people hear the term, sunk costs or sometimes we get going on, well, I've invested in this, I'm too deep in this, it's not working. Look, if you're doing something that's not working and you don't enjoy working, you don't see a path, cut the mistake, realize, look, I made a mistake on that one. No big deal, I'm going to pivot, I'm going to move forward, I'm going to do this next. We have to do that when I'm running a company or when we're running our own. Everybody, all of you are running your own company. You're not just selling homes, you're running your own business. You have to realize sometimes, look, cut bait on something that wasn't working, pivot and focus on the next idea or the next thing that is working or where you are finding that business. So embrace those mistakes, but move on from them. And learn from them. Like, look, we learn from stuff every day at Samson.
And it doesn't mean just because Barbara did something and it didn't work for her that Cheryl's not going to do something and it's going to work for her. We share and mastermind together to learn those different mistakes and learn about what we can do differently, because you may take one little thing different about it and run off and charge with it. So keep talking, keep communicating, and masterminding. I love the curiosity, because curiosity will keep you thirsting for more. Curiosity is not just about our market and about how to sell a house and what the contract looks like, but curiosity is about how's that person doing it? What are they doing that's well? Take them out for coffee, mastermind with other people. It's being curious about all the different platforms you can use and the technologies you can use and the people that you can engage with, not just how you're doing your business or your team's doing your business, but you know what? I like what she did on Facebook. Let me go over here and see if I can talk to her and figure out how she did it. And then you're going to have that positive success with it, and then that's going to keep you trying new things, taking a little bit more of another risk, maybe going a little further down the pipe with the next risk just to be a little bit outside of your box. Find gratitude and celebrate other success.
This is
huge.
It's a big one, guys. In real estate, it's a tough business in some ways when it comes to this. Like, if we're all in an honest moment, if we see somebody else succeeding, or we see us on the street, our first thought is maybe to get a little jealous or a little bitter that they're doing well.
How did they do it and I didn't?
I'm not, right? And then we can get down ourselves. Well, Sarah's being so successful and I'm not. Look, celebrate the success and find gratitude for what you are being provided and what is going well in you. But if you focus on what other people are doing better, yeah, you can help it make it drive you, and we give leaders or whatever. You can help it drive you to try to succeed like they are. But if you just dwell in, well, Gina's getting all the business this month, why can't I be as good? That's not going to get you anywhere. Find gratitude in what's going well for you and lean into that and try to push hard on that.
And one more step further is nobody's going to want to be around you if you have that mindset and that attitude. But if you're like, you know what, you did a great job. I am proud of you. Rock on, right? People feel supported. They're going to be the first person that cycles back around when you need something or you need to be supported. They're going to be the one that supports you. So you're building community. Shun the negative and feed the positive. Again, it's Eeyore.
This is a lot of the first one
Right?
as well.
It's the
thing,
same.
right?
It's the same concept. It's that same mindset. Be healthy in mind and body. Healthy, not just physically, but mentally. Right? It's all your circles. It's your business and your faith and your family and your personal and your dog and your whatever. Right? It's all of your circles, however you define that. Putting that to be healthy and taking care of all of those circles, regardless of what it is, mind and spirit and body.
And you read, and not that I'm a picture of this, but you read most successful people that say, well, I time block my day, or I succeed my day, or I have this. I start my day with a half-hour walk or a workout or whatever it is, something that feeds their mind and their body, but habitually setting up consistent schedules. Look, it's not about being, Mr. or Miss Universe. It's about the idea that you find that time, whatever it is, whether it's in your faith, in your body, your exercise, or whatever it is. You're setting the tone for your day, and you're finding that time. People are like, oh, you do so many things. Because personally, look, I coach my kids' sports, a lot. But that's my time that I need. I need that healthy time. I need that time to not be thinking about Samson Properties and work. I need to be with those kids for an hour and a half, enjoying basketball and coaching them and having that fun. That's one of my releases in life. So you got to find the things that bring you, that mental stability and that emotional health and stuff on top of the physical stuff to help balance your body, because then you just end up in a circle of, stress.
Well, and it's also releasing those
Whoa,
endorphins.
whoa.
He's flipping back. It's
Oh,
him.
okay.
He's also, it's
I was
releasing
like, I wasn't
those
doing that.
endorphins. It's figuring out what's important in your life and leaning into it and living into it. And, some of us go on binges of, I'm not working out right now, or I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. But the stress builds.
Some of us go on juice cleanse, then I have to watch you all eat donuts.
He cleanses, I eat donuts. But the point is that you've got to figure out where you're going to release those endorphins. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to run a marathon every morning, but it could be that you take the power walk, or it could be that you lift the weights or do the push-ups, or it could be that you run up and down the field yelling at people, right? I don't do push-ups either. No, I don't want to do push-ups.
Somebody want some?
But
He
the
might beat me in
key,
push-ups.
and I'm
You wanna
keeping
go?
into, he's like, I'll go. I'm keeping into the very last point, which is just keep your energy high. Like, for those of you that took classes with me before, and we
Heard
talk
noise up there
about
in the crowd.
it. Would you be quiet?
I'm doing a push-up challenge over here.
You're doing on the rails, friend. But we talk about energy quadrants.
I'm keeping the energy
I
high.
give up. Your energy something. Woo! You're going to be high in about 13 seconds to the moon. You talk about those energy quadrants, right? You've got high energy and low energy. You've got high positive, which is excitement and energetic. Do people like to be around that? Yes. You've got high negative energy, which is like anger and do people like to be around that?
Yes.
Not really.
Oh, no, sorry.
Some people like the drama because it's a train wreck, right? But not so great energy. You've also got low energy, negative, and positive. When you stay in that high positive energy quadrant, people are attracted to that. Your energy is contagious. You're letting out those endorphins. You're spending a lot of time, whether it's smelling the roses or engaging with people, sharing energy, feeding on energy. It just makes you a happier person, and it makes people gravitate to you. Well, don't we need our clients to gravitate to us? Don't we need to be in that sharing of positive energy where they trust us, like us, love us, work with us? So keep that energy high. So when you look at the successful mindsets in that Entrepreneur magazine, they all have positivity of the mind, right?
Nobody
common.
ever got successful being negative.
Right.
That's for sure.
And Boomy's got a question, but I don't have a mic. Can you? Oh, you got to talk into the. You got to talk in the mic.
Sorry. Thank you.
Come on, Boom.
I was just going to say that
Oh,
that
yeah.
translates into every part of our lives,
Every
not
aspect
just
of our
the
life.
real
Not
estate
just
business.
real
Yes.
estate.
I am
It's
a firm
all the
believer,
circles, right?
yes, in keeping my peace at home and at work. I protect my peace at all costs.
Yes. And that's a great point, too, because go back to that negative high energy, right?
Yeah, this doesn't even
Like-
really have anything to do with real estate. I mean, it does.
This is
but-
just
but
life.
This is just about life.
I mean,
and
I'm
that's gonna
applying
feed
it to
into
real estate, but it's life. And sometimes, that high energy quadrant, are there times when I will pick a fight? Absolutely. I will walk in and I will be like, "Rah, rah, rah," and he's like, you are ready to fight. But there's a high energy quadrant there, right? But in many cases, over the years, I have been very, very good at being like, you're right. You're right. The sky's green. You're right. My desire to be right no longer outpaces my peace, right? So we have to protect that mindset at all costs.
See, Senorita.
But
All
I
right.
may fight with you if you tell me the sky's green. I will fight with you.
Yeah, you'll fight with me about anything, let's be clear.
Pretty
All
much.
right. So a couple of reminders.
Yes.
Resource refreshers classes in Alexandria,
Deep
Gaithersburg,
dive.
and Chantilly. Deep dives into KV Core and Skyslope more specifically. Our marketing education team, our marketing education days, our marketing team is on the road. DC, Lake Ridge, and Waldorf, all coming up in the next 45 days.
Yes.
So get on their calendar. They're also on all the Maryland ones. We are bringing headshots to those as well now, right, Justin?
Yes.
Okay, so look for sign-up sheets as we get to probably DC and Waldorf on
If you
those.
need a headshot because you're 92 years old and have one from when you were 5, you may too need a headshot.
We don't have anybody 92 years old in this room.
I'm just saying.
I
In
mean,
general.
you're going to tell somebody else they're going to die? You totally
To
hope
all the people online.
But with
with
love,
love.
tell them. She said,
I will also
with
say to
love,
you
I
with
tell
love.
them they're going to die before this mortgage ends.
What? Wouldn't you? Or were you going to say, okay, getting a 30-year mortgage and you're going to die in 10 years is a
No,
great
I would
plan?
show them to save all the money.
Yes.
Because they're going to maybe want to move to a retirement home in 10 years. Not that they're
Oh,
going to
so
die.
you're putting them in a retirement home. At least I'm killing them off.
All right. Every Friday, as a reminder, I send a
Yes.
weekend update. It sometimes goes out over the weekend or Monday morning at 9 a.m. But we tape a weekend update every Friday where it says all the things that have gone on great at Stamps this week, our classes for the week ahead. That's your best place to hear the class coming up. Always go to the Cardinal Nest. You know, we've got great classes every day. I'm not going to go through every one now, but you can see just a snapshot of things going on in the next couple of days. I mean, these 2, 3, 4 things every day. KV Core, Will You Be My Valentine workshop apparently seems interesting.
I may need to go to that one. That one sounds fun.
But we've got different things. I mean, we've got a vision board workshop next Wednesday in our Columbia office, a video masterclass for real estate Wednesday in our Columbia office. We got some good stuff coming up all over our footprint. White Marsh Chili Cook-Off.
Nice.
Looks like we got coming up. So that's next Thursday. But these are great
I might be on the
things.
road Thursday, just saying.
These are great things going on every single day. So I'd encourage you. We don't spend a ton of time, but I talk about every class in the weekend update. It's only about 10, 12 minutes long. It's a great,
It's a great recap and then what's coming
and
up.
refresher.
Yeah.
And also check that Cardinal Nest out, and reach out to whoever it is that's running those classes if you have more questions. But we want you to engage, guys. Nobody's going to get better or change their trajectory of where their business is going by continuing to sit in their home office and stare at the same four
On their
walls every day.
fannies doing the same thing
Get
they've
into
always
new
done.
classes, get into
Yeah.
new people. It's going to give you more energy to do more things.
And I promise you, 99% of every question you have, the answer can be found on the Cardinal Nest with links to everything.
There you
Yes.
go. And Sarah actually sent, did you put that together or somebody else?
Who?
Fess up. The Tuesday Tippet yesterday.
Oh, me.
That was a really good one. So if there's a lot of things that you might not know where to find, Sarah's Tuesday Tippet yesterday was good to be able to find all that stuff.
I'm doing a broker series,
the-
the most commonly asked questions. You guys are funny.
The other thing you can always do, Lisa and Catherine and whoever your local agent service specialist is, Catherine waved. Lisa just nodded at me. No, I'm joking. We've got a great agent services team. Reach out
Yeah,
to
we
your
do.
local rep when you have those problems. The worst thing I ever hear is like, well, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. It's like, well, connect to your agent service specialist. I promise you they will help you through it, and they will do it
Yes.
with a smile. So those are great connection points as well to head off some of those questions. But we're going to close here and congratulate our 64 closings in our Maryland, D.C. offices in the last 4 weeks since our last
Woo,
sales
woo,
meeting.
woo.
So
If you're in the room, do a woot woot.
and guys, I thanked you all earlier that these contracts ticked up big time. Please continue to do that. Look, the winter's tough. The winter's hard. We want to continue to provide great services, great resources, great staff. I am so optimistic about the future of this company. We've had, great teams like the One Street Company join, lots more people that we're talking to, and I think we are going to just have the best year that we've ever had here. I believe that. But it starts individual in every single one of your contracts, guys. When you have that choice, please try to get Cardinal Title Group involved. It might not seem like a lot, but every little bit helps to make our ship as good as we can get. We're already having conversations with a couple new programs, new apps, new things that we can try to make our life better and more successful here. But we need you guys to continue to help us supporting us so we feel comfortable diving in with more financial commitments to help you sell homes more. So
Yes.
I wanted to read off on our 64 fantastic names here from last month. Miss Amy Presley, Epicana Pichaku, nailed it. Started laughing at me. Ashina Tucker, Bobby Hambley, Carlo Washington, Carlos Fuentes 2 times, Chris Westerlin, Dirige Germa, Diana Posadas, Dilara Dominova, Diama Lamar, Elizabeth Frink, Engels de Leon, Gemel Dean, Godfrey Shikwa, Hanwen Liu, Henry Rodriguez, Emo Omaran Degbo, Indrian Dotson, and Isabel Carrero.
Jan Allen, Janelle Alexander, Jixon Lee, John Agam 2 times, John and Kathy McCambridge, John Rawlings. Now you've got me doing it, John and Kathy McCambridge, getting all the words out. John Rawlings, Joy Hastings, Cameron Zenga, Karen Harvey, Kella Welch, Kevin Wright, Lakeisha Malloy, Lamar Woods, Marisol Bonds, Martha Acevedo, Max Tariq, Melody Briscoe, Monica Lee, Nikita Irvin, and Natasha Reddish. Congratulations. Thanks, guys.
And Nora Corasaniti, Arentes Patrick, Paul Nam, Paulette Waiters, PJ Aguiar, Prudence Waffo 3
You
times.
go, Prudence.
Good job, Prudence.
Nice job.
Sarndeep Sarkaria. Sergio Garcia 2 times.
Not the golfer.
Not the golfer.
Not the
I
golfer.
messed it up. It's supposed to be not the golfer. Then 2 times.
We have a shtick up here, people. We have a shtick.
Shawnika Deniton, Shirley Camilio. You got to cheer for your friend. Yay, Shirley. Cedric Khan, Simone Agasoye, Stephanie Johnson, Stephen Wang, Tamar Myers Moffitt, Tamika Lyons, Tara Lowe out of our West Virginia office, Seattle in Maryland, Tommy Topi Adiyamo, and Vicky King.
Oh, she left. There we go.
Side. So thank you all so much for all your support of Cardinal Title Group in your closings. Guys, I'm very excited. It's great to be up here and see everybody in our White Marsh office and from Bel Air and Columbia that showed up as well. We're really excited about the future. Some great things going on this year. We want to be able to provide great services to you. I really think this market's starting to turn and dive in, learn from each other, embrace each other. I think it's going to be a great spring market. You know, it's been a rough 4 to 6 months, you know, as this market turned on us, but I think it's going to be a lot more fun to be a realtor here in the next few months, and hopefully a lot more fun to be a realtor here at Sampson Properties. We're going to continue to push every day to make this company better, and I'm really excited about it.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing everybody next week in our Arlington sales meeting. You guys enjoy the beautiful weather outside. Thank you for coming. See you next week.
Peace out. Push up.